Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, anyone who want to learn more about SEO. I'm so excited to discuss a lot more with Leslie. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you, Anatoly. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you. It's been much too long since we spoke.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, but that was valuable. I remember you joined my podcast with your partner. Yeah.
Teammate at the time. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that was valuable. I decided to, and I found your comment on LinkedIn, so I decided to invite you back. To
Thank
bring
you.
more value.
An honor.
Especially you want to share about my living topic about AI plus SEO because I love mixing them.
Yes.
And even today I wrote the post on LinkedIn that my best results are coming from AI content. I get the best results from AI content, and
Awesome.
I don't think AI content is terrible. It's terrible if you can't create AI content, So it's not AI fault that you can't do it. If you can create much better results. Leslie, before we start, just remind more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Sure. Thanks. So I'm Leslie Carruthers. I'm the founder and president of thesearchguru.com, and we make people money. We focus primarily on business to business, mid-market through enterprise. And we're really excited and have been playing with some very smart teams, marketing teams, in creating AI plus human hybrid marketing teams. And everything is about performance improvements. And we're seeing great gains. I'm excited to talk about that today. We've been around for 21 years.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
lots of changes. This is just one more change, and it's significant. It's a significant one, Anatoly. You'd agree, right?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I can imagine it's a lot. I mean, like many things changed since then, but I see the biggest switch was like a few years ago, when AI appealed. Because before, when ChatGPT released, I think like only big companies could use this technology. Today everyone can do it, and I think AI content is great if experts can handle the process. From my experience, for example, I cooperated with some great accounting specialists who have plus 20 years of experience, worked with Fortune 500 companies, but these people don't know how to create great content. So they don't know how to write. I think for creating AI content, you need to have two things. The first thing, you need to know how to write, because without writing background, it's tough to create high quality content. And the second, you need to focus on one topic, to become an expert in one topic, because in that way you can ask the right questions and edit results. So what do you think about that?
No, totally agreed. We need the human at the beginning and at the end of the content creation process and content strategy, all of it, really. You're reminding me of a study that I read about first in one of Ethan Mollick's newsletters. The Boston Consulting Group did. They took almost 250 consultants and they used that group of people to illustrate how AI and humans can work together effectively. And they found the problem you're alluding to is that if you're not good to start with, it'll make you maybe average, right? So on average, the performance of the group using AI increased. And it took you, like if you were subpar, it took you to average. If you were already average, it would make you better. And it really amplifies whatever you already have. So if you understand an area, if you have a niche, a specialization, as you mentioned, and you can work with the AI to get an output that you can then assess critically and know what's not a hallucination, what's accurate, what's not hyperbole, and then come up with the output together with the AI, that's going to be best. The thing that was really interesting about that study was that Ethan Mollick used the term cyborg to describe the most effective method of combining humans and AI. And that was taking those people who were really deeply integrated and experts at what they did, and then adding AI with a really great understanding of how to use the AI tools. And then anything is possible.
Yeah, nice, nice. You mentioned about this word hallucination. It's popular, and many experts can uh, explain that AI is bad because of hallucination. But from my experience, I don't get it.
Hmm.
I mean, like, probably I can get, but not often. And according to data in ChatGPT, it happens like in 2.8% times. It's not
Hmm.
often. I mean, like, if you can manage the process, if you can just analyze what you get, so it's not often. And can you tell from your experience how to pay attention to avoid such hallucination if it happens?
Yes. The first is not to use generic AI.
Hmm.
Right? So don't just go into the free ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Microsoft Copilot and ask it for something that's beyond you, because you won't be able to gut check it or critically assess the accuracy or even know that the context is appropriate. So stay in your lane, focus on what you know, make sure you have personalized AI. So that's custom GPTs or gems and Geminis that you, gems in Google, um, Google's Gemini, that you've trained it. You've provided a foundation level of context and knowledge and understanding, your brand and tone guidelines, um, the expertise and background of your company, your target audience, your ICP, ideal customer profiles, all that information is going to give it a space to play. And then probably you can't forget to make sure you're paying attention to the model that you're in. So if you're in the base model, it doesn't call to the web. So that's where you're most likely to have the most hallucinations. If you're searching in a base model, like not the thinking models, right, in ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Copilot, then it's going to want to please you and be helpful, and it's going to make up whatever it needs to do to be able to do that in its world. Yeah,
Yeah.
so make sure you're in the thinking model because it'll call to the web, and then question it. So think critically. Don't tap out of the thing and think it's going to make it for you. You got to be at the beginning and the end. Anything you'd add to that?
You got it. Yeah. Guys, just pay $30, $20. It depends on the tool.
20
Just
bucks a
pay.
month is
It's not a
amazing.
lot.
Hmm. Hmm. And we have to have enough time to
Mhm.
be the fact checker. That's really going to be the thing, the bottleneck in the future, because we can produce so much with AI that if we don't make sure we have baked into our systems and structures fact checkers, I mean, this is your brand, your personal brand, your professional brand that you're dealing with. You can't risk that.
Yeah, I use a few elements in my prompts. I usually add like don't fake. Please don't fake. Just check out twice. Check deeply.
Yeah.
Don't fake.
Prioritize accuracy over helpfulness, for instance.
Yeah, and it helps. It helps. Uh, in the beginning of our podcast, I shared my tool, but for now, I open the Search Guru, and what I can see in your first screen, like stop doing robots work, embed with AI teammates. I love it. I love it because for me, like AI automation is a must-have. So if companies can ignore this element, it's tough to compete with others. I mean, like probably you can do it today, not sure about tomorrow, because everyone can adapt to AI today. And I remember I always hated boring job. Even in my first job, that was like 20 years ago, I came to the bank, young specialist, and they gave me calculator and a list of 1,000 lines of data to calculate in calculator. And I replied, what, you printed from computer? It means like on this computer we can calculate all this data. Why I need to use calculator? And it was tough. I created my algorithm. I explained everything to developers what we need to create. They hated me, by the way. Didn't speak with me like for a few weeks. But my boss said to them, no, 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 we need to do it. Because I spent like 16 hours just to calculate all this data.
Yeah.
And after 3 months, I spent like an hour, just an hour to calculate everything.
Boom. That's right.
Yeah, it's like automation. It's a must
Yeah.
have. And I
Yeah.
think
And
laziness can
efficiency
help with
is a
that.
byproduct across the board, but really what we're going for is up-leveling performance, right?
Hmm.
You took some human error out of that
Yeah,
system, because if you're there
yeah,
with a calculator, odds are a small percentage of the time, Anatoly is not perfect, just a
yeah,
small one, but right.
yeah. And we
Yeah.
did it before AI. Today with AI, A lot of opportunities. Leslie, can you tell how you can help with that in your company?
Oh, how we've used AI in the search
Yeah,
crew?
for automation, for many things.
Everywhere. It's everywhere, Anatoly. It's amazing. One of the first things that our head of operations did was she created a custom GPT to test culture fit
Mhm.
with talent. So she said that that one move saved her 3 hours and improved her effectiveness. Like it shortened the cycle for hiring and finding talent. Because if the person's not a culture fit, it doesn't matter how good they are.
Yeah, of course,
Right?
of course.
It's really important. So that was, we have custom GPTs. We have a marketing team in our team that I consult all the time. We have a sales team that I work with that is, a custom GPT. I have a mirror of those in Gemini, Gems in Gemini, Google's LLM. We have um, uh, thought partners. So we had created custom GPTs. And then I remember hearing Paul Raitzer talk about a co-CEO that he created. And I hadn't done that yet. So the next day I made my own thought partner. So you know what it's like to run a business. You have a lot of solopreneurs and consultants in your audience. You know what it's like to work alone and
Mhm.
second guess yourself. So now you can build a custom GPT or gem, load all that you have, give it all your writings, decks, like everything, all the thought leadership content that you published, everything that you've done, and then engage with it when you've got your next stumper or really important thing you need to think through deeply and come up with the right answer for yourself, your team, whatever it is. Heck, I do this personally now. I have a custom GPT that is my life coach, and it has, all the things in there about my medical background, my professional career, my family, my relationships, and it knows me so well now that I can go in there and really have a peer to bounce things around with. So everything from analysis to creative, content creation to getting feedback on layout for pages for CRO. I mean, there's really nothing you can't use it for. And in fact, I'll show up periodically to my marketing team or my sales team or my co-thinker GTM, and I'll just GPT and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with this week or this month or this quarter. How can you help me?
Nice. Awesome. Amazing. Leslie, I have a bunch of questions according to your reply.
Mhm.
uh, yeah, especially about this. You mentioned about marketing and sales teams, and the last time I started to use a few AI agents to personalize the message in sales.
Yes.
So
Yes.
basically, everyone can get plus 100 spam emails every single day. I put all of them to my spam inbox, the best place
Yes.
where I can get them. The same on LinkedIn, everywhere. So salespeople, if they spend some time by learning AI, just to learn how to personalize the message. Basically, uh, lazy salespeople just send cold outreach. People who spend just time to learn AI, you don't need even to learn a list of prospects. You just need to learn how AI can learn all your list to personalize the message. And it works great. I showed this personalization to some salespeople, and they, wow, AI can do it. Of course it can.
Yes.
So can you tell about your process in sales? I mean, like how you use AI?
Sure. Let me think. I'm trying to think where to start. So when you say personalization, do you mean personalizing messages that you're
Yeah,
sending
messaging.
out?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially messaging. Yeah.
Yep. So I remember talking to Dale Bertrand of Fire and Spark a few years ago,
Hmm.
and he was doing, back when you could use, and you still can, you can take a Google Sheet, for instance, and you can put in code in a cell that will pull from ChatGPT through the API.
Hmm.
And he had a sheet of lost opportunities, and he had a cell that had enough information about the opportunity that he had lost that it could generate an email to try to reopen it, say, hey, what happened? I know we didn't work out for you in that, but we want to see how the effort went, and we're doing this and this. How can we help you? And, he'd gotten several meetings out of that. Like, so there's the opportunity to create from nothing, something that you wouldn't have had time to do otherwise. And then I'm in the midst of a campaign right now that I am building out with and I was talking to ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude about it last night. Because if it's important enough to me, I pull up a bunch of them and hit them all with it. And they caught me. This isn't personalization, but it caught me. I almost made an error. I wanted to go, I have a bent towards consultative selling and education, right? I know you're the same. You're always out there teaching. And I wanted to start putting in, we've developed all these custom GPTs and prompt tools. I'm happy to share those if you want to put them in the show notes later. And I wanted to put one in each message. And Brianna is the name of the head of my marketing team, the one who coordinates everyone else. We have about 9, I don't know, like critters in there, different experts, different specialists. And she's like, that's a mistake. This is a sales campaign, not a nurture campaign. And you have goals to close new business by the end of the year. And we've only got this many weeks. Like, she really held me accountable. Like, I felt like, wow, I have a sales boss.
Yeah.
It just caught me and almost screwing something up. So yeah, you can give it the data sources. You can create a nice automation with a Make or a 989 or a Spell or Zapier or whatever you're using. What are you using, by the way? We're a Make shop right now.
I think everything. I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Fair.
I love ChatGPT mostly. Yeah, but
Right. I
yeah,
mean, the connector tools, because when you're talking about personalization in your
yeah.
sales efforts,
I use Lemlist, Salesforce for that.
yeah.
So I tested a few other tools like Reply.io, something else. But yeah, I mean, like a bunch of tools. I can't say that just one solution.
Yeah. So for instance, gotcha. Yeah. I meant what I'm talking about more like the glue point. So if you want to take your LLM and you've got a data source and you want it to feed into the LLM through a particular query, and you want to create an automation to have a string of work come together for you. So like this campaign that I'm doing right now, I'm doing it all manually because I need to map it all out. Right.
Okay, got it.
And when you start to make automations, you realize pretty quickly that you have to go back through it like 5 times because there's so many things you do without thinking. But if you're going to put them in an automation, you have to itemize them all out, right? And be really clear or it'll break and it won't work. So like going back to Dale's example, if you had a set of either, maybe you've got a tier of prospects that you want to pursue, but you just don't have the time right now. So maybe they're your 3rd tier prospects, right? So it's like, well, this isn't going to happen unless I figure out how to use AI in an automation. Right? So let's see what we can pull from, Scrape. You have a scraping tool and you pull in their LinkedIn page and what activity they've posted over the last certain period of time. And you have that populated sheet. And then you have it tied to another LLM, like just another instance, and you run it through a prompt to assess those posts. This is assuming they're active on LinkedIn, right? And you have it summarize what they've been posting about. And then you tie that to, what would we do next? Sorry, I'm one of the folks on the Make team, but
Yeah,
not
I got it.
my team, right?
But you aren't hiding my secrets,
Sorry.
I didn't share them before.
Yeah. Fair enough. So we want to figure out what is the process that we would normally go through as a human, and which parts are robot work now, which parts can we give away, and then have that not just be about saving time, but improving performance. So using an LLM to write my messaging, or using a tool that has AI integrated, like Zapto or something else, to go like things on LinkedIn. Don't bust me, LinkedIn. I know we're not supposed to use those things, but come on, we need some help. There's a lot to do. And then using a custom GPT, it took us forever to figure out how to get a custom GPT to write comments for LinkedIn in my voice, but we've got it nailed now. In fact, it's been 6 months since I reviewed one, and I just saw one I didn't love, and it's the first time in 6 months, which is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. So great to look in my LinkedIn feed and see comments that I didn't write, but we were able to do, like, that wouldn't have happened, right? We got to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay, Leslie, let's get back to SEO. But before we jump with SEO, I wanna ask you. You mentioned about hiring process, about avoiding toxic people. you know, for me, it's interesting topic because I remember like a few years ago, not like 5 years ago. Yeah, I worked with one big project,
Hmm.
and honestly, I didn't have time to check out if everything is fine in the company inside,
Yeah.
but something happened. Toxic environment appealed, and a few good players left my company. So I started to investigate and found that was toxic environment. So I think almost all companies had similar issues, and according to
Yeah.
data, 69% of all new hirings usually wrong, not good. So can you tell about how AI can help? I mean, like in the process of hiring the right people. I mean, like, okay, I can set up some GPT prompts, I can check out prospects, but how do I know they are toxic or not?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what we've done, and we're
Okay.
testing more for culture fit rather than toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
But what we've done is we've reverse engineered. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have those moments of delight in your company where you're like, wow, like what generated that outcome? What had us think together this way? What had us? I remember being in a meeting once with my own team years ago, and we were reviewing processes and looking for opportunities for improvement. So kind of an end of year review. And the first person on the team started, and she was the head copywriter, and she started talking about her own department. And I was just like, oh, like that's beautiful, right? There was no finger pointing. There was no your stuff was this, whatever, whatever. Everyone brought prepared stuff about their own. I'm like, how did we get this to happen? I need to figure this out so we can bottle it, right? So over the years, we have reverse engineered what what works. We have certain qualities in people that we see repeatedly, the folks that really stick and work well together, and we've documented that. And it's one of the foundation pieces. Just as I mentioned, custom AI is really important. Generic AI requires wait. It's like an intern versus an experienced teammate, right? We want the experienced teammate, not the intern. God bless interns, but somebody you've really got to manage and teach it from the beginning, get the foundational stuff in there, the culture, the ideal qualities. Like, we really spent time looking at this, just like putting time into writing and fleshing out your persona in your ICPs makes such a difference in your marketing and selling. This is what we did, and we created this custom GPT. And then she would download their LinkedIn page, their CV, any cover letters, any reference material, and she would put that through the GPT, and it would compare and give a rating for a match for our culture. And she would use that to sort through the initial list of candidates and shorten it up and
Wow.
focus on the ones that the GPT said were the best fit. And of course, she tested and supervised it early to make sure it was effective. And then she's able to run with it. And it's a
Wow.
solid part of the process. It's a teammate now.
Interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
part of the org chart. Like, that's her HR assistant.
Nice. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
brilliant,
need to
right?
test.
I can't take credit for that. She came up with it.
Okay, I can feel that I can get a new loyal audience,
I know
recruiters
you
to my
can.
podcast. Okay, let's get back to SEO. SEO is very important, especially for my audience, and I check out that you can help B2B companies. And let's start with content creation, especially today when we have AI
Yep.
search. Google AI mode, Google AI overview, and we don't need to skip ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Grok, all these models that can bring also
Mhm.
sales and traffic. Can you tell how to create content for AI search? And let me explain a little bit more about that. I mean, like we spent over decade to create to write a lot of blog posts, probably plus 1,000 blog posts. We got a
Yeah.
million traffic, a lot of traffic. I'm not sure about this strategy can work great in the future. It works today. It still works great. We still can get sales from that. But for now, what we can see, ChatGPT can steal some attention. AI overview can steal this attention. Even if AI overview can put these links, nobody click them. Why they click if, I mean, like, if people can see title description, it's enough for them to, it's not enough. to get this information from snippets. They still need to click to open the entire content. But AI mod can reply fully. There is no need to click to any other link. So can you tell your strategy today and for the future?
For sure. Yeah. So, I hear you. In the past, you created thousands of pieces of content for your blog.
Yeah, a lot of
and
blog
you
posts. Yeah.
optimize them. You know what you're doing. It was effective. It's still working for you. And you're saying that now the best performing content for you is in the LLMs, right?
I think like my biggest social media post AI written, my biggest
Got it.
article that
Okay.
bring a lot of traffic AI written.
Yes.
It's not like that I did it from one prompt. Of course, I played a little bit, I crafted, I check out results. Yeah, it's common,
Yeah.
just to create high quality content. But
Yeah.
what about
thank you for the clarification. I heard that it was the citations in the LLMs that were performing well for you, but you're saying you used AI to create the content. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same. And I'm going to start to sound like a broken record. You just can't use generic AI. It's got to be custom. So we have custom GPTs. We have a marketing team that has a writer. It has a target audience member in it. It has, there are like 9 different critters. I can pull it up here before the end and tell you all the different specialists that are in that team, in that custom GPT, before we leave, if you'd like. And we have it so well trained that I can actually engage with the teammate, if you will, in that custom GPT or the gem, who is our target audience, and say, what would move you to action in this situation, this topic? Is it of interest? Like I can actually, it's like a focus group, if you will. And the more data you feed it and the better and cleaner data you can feed it, the more accurate the results of that focus group are. So if you start with that, the foundational pieces are in your persona, your ICP, your voice and tone documentation. You've given it a dozen or more examples of what good looks like in terms of your content. Right now, you've got a solid foundation. And we want to build past that to add downloads from GA4, our most highly converting pages report, right? The key terms in Google Search Console where we're maybe ranking 4 to 30 in Google, right? The pages for those, and maybe do some optimization there specifically, or look at things, that data we can get from your tool or other tools on the market that tell us about topic clusters, and ask the persona, ask the ICP, what do you want to hear about in there? What would make a difference for you? And then use that custom GPT also to create the draft. And then until I do the same, if something's really important, I'll get it done in my custom GPT, and then I'll give it to my gem. And I'll say, please critically evaluate this and make recommendations for improvements against this objective.
Yeah.
And it does great. So if something's really important, you can do a couple of waves through it, but that process starts with the human, uses personalized, customized AI, and ends with the human reviewing it. And, we add whatever data we can to make it better, and then get it live and keep an eye on it. So, and some of the pieces haven't changed, right? They're recognizable to you. And we have these additional teammates in the org chart to help us get it done better, stronger, faster.
Nice. Yeah, you remind me this quote: "The era of lazy marketing is dead." So you just need to feed AI with data. I mean, like you can't rely that AI can find everything. Basically, I'm using AI to search for data, but it's not enough. I mean, like, you need to feed. So if you have access to GA4, Google Search Console, just take this data, feed it, explain about your best-selling products, prioritize. And can you tell about priorities? I remember when I got one project that couldn't grow results for a long time. And when I asked them to show what they do, and I got the feeling they do everything, almost everything that is possible in this world. But I mean, like with limited resources, they try to promote like plus 1,000 pages. I told, we don't need plus 1,000 pages. We just need 10 pages. 20
Yeah.
pages maximum, you know.
Yes.
So we get a lot of results from 10 pages, and put all
How it
resources
always
there.
is,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's the Pareto's principle, right? The 80-20 rule absolutely holds true, or 70-30, whatever it is.
Yeah.
For prioritization, I would do, can I tell you about a project we did for a client recently?
Of course. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think this will be a great example. They're a manufacturer of surgical equipment for humans and for animals. And they had a very small marketing team, despite being, $500 million plus company. They had grown by acquisition. So they had bolted on more SKUs. They had way too many SKUs. And the content was, this was written by this team before it was acquired. This was written by this team before it was acquired. So it's a bit of a quilt, if you will. And they knew they were never going to get to optimization to improve revenue from pages, to drive more traffic and get more conversions, if they left it to the team. So we created an additional teammate for them in a custom GPT. We taught it their compliance rules, right? And that took something, because we had to get it out of the marketing team. It wasn't documented, but that we would have failed without that step. So we interviewed them and pulled out and did some early pages to get clear about, because we could not trigger compliance reviews. That would have sunk the whole project. There was no time or budget for that. It would have slowed everything down. So we were a bit limited in what we could do for optimization, but there was still a lot of opportunity, because nothing had really been done in the space. It was a great competitive space for that. So what we did was we created this custom GPT, taught it the compliance rules, taught it optimization rules, gave it their persona and ICP information, tone and voice documentation, backgrounder on the company, a few corporate decks, nothing that was IP, right? You have to make sure whatever you feed those custom GPTs is okay to do, to feed it. And then we ran a spreadsheet of SKU pages based on revenue, right? We sorted them by revenue. We cross-referenced those pages with Google Search Console data. So which of those pages were ranking 4 to 30 in Google Search Console? Well, I should say the keywords, and then which pages were ranking for the keywords for those in those positions. And then we also looked at conversion data and Google Analytics 4. And then we chose the top number of pages for those, and we optimized them through the GPT. And we had a little bit of back and forth early on, but all the feedback we got from the client, we would train back into the GPT, so that by the end, edits were minimal. Yay, edits were minimal.
Nice.
And within weeks of those pages going live, 75% of them saw their traffic double, organic traffic double. Yep. And we're expecting an increase in conversion rate, even though we didn't, that wasn't an objective. It was increase in traffic. If the conversion rate stayed the same, we expected, this project's going to have 7,000% ROI. It's extraordinary. Yeah. And we also, we uploaded some competitor content to competitors' pages for that same SKU, and the clients' pages for the SKU, the content. Yeah. So that was incredibly successful.
I want to ask about your team. You mentioned many times your team, we, all the time you say we. You never say I, we, my team, we did it, team. So can you tell about your team and how you manage this team?
Thanks. I'm the best salesperson. I can say that, Anatoly. But you know how it is. You start a business, and as you add teammates, you hire smarter than you.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm the best at sales, and that's all I can say now. Sales and problems. I get those. Yeah. No, my team, I love working with smart people. I love fronting smart people. So my joy is to get a client that I can get out of the way with and get them access to the team, because they're extraordinary. And, yeah. And that the hiring has always been, that culture fit that I'm grateful for has always been wonderful. And, just how cool is it when you can get, you know how hard marketers work.
Yeah.
I would not want their jobs in-house to be like CMO or VP marketing. No way. That looks way too hard, but I can support them. right?
Yeah.
Like I can bring to bear, like we can make them, as well resourced as they already are. They're spread so thin, 3 inches deep across everything,
Mhm.
right? And then
Yeah.
you bring in an agency who's 3 miles deep in something, and yeah, it's a joy.
Nice, nice. It's interesting. I decided once to check out my speed to add content to WordPress with the speed of my content manager who can do this job every single day.
Wow.
And she beats me like 6 times, even after when she added this
Uh,
content.
yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
the
Specialization.
quality was much better.
Yeah.
I was clumsy in everything. So,
Yes. No, for sure. I mean, we are dangerous in all the areas, right? Because we
yeah,
have to be. But it's so wonderful to have somebody who's really loves what they do and they're expert at that, and then to get to front them and get them great work and let them just go to town is, yeah, it's
that's
awesome.
nice. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
oh,
thank you.
my daughter is coming to this
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone can see it's live. Yeah,
Tell me about it.
uh, I have yeah, probably a few questions, very important questions for my audience. Uh, the first question for youngsters. We analyze data that big tech companies in the US laid off 65,000 people in 2025 because of AI. I mean, Microsoft like fired 9,000 people, IBM 8,000 people, a lot of people, and very smart people because it's tough to join these companies if you're not smart. You need to have great skills, and if people can lose jobs because of AI, it's tough. I'm pretty sure these people will find another job. They
Mhm.
are smart, but I think today we have some challenge for interns because many companies hired interns to give some boring tasks when the people can acquire some experience to become an expert in one day. But
Yeah.
today, everyone wants to replace them with AI agents, and it's tough for
Mhm.
newcomers.
CEOs are bragging about a reduction in headcount quarter over quarter.
Yeah. So let's say I have this question for you. Let's imagine you started today without any knowledge, skills, experience. It's your first day in what you do, but you want to still do it. Nobody wants to hire you, but you have this dream to become an expert, to achieve high level. What will you do if you do everything from scratch
Yeah, today. If I was
today?
just out of school today.
Of course, today.
It's terrible. It's not, sorry, I would take it back. I don't want to say that. All right, here's what I would do. I would work if assuming that you had graduated from a college or a university or some group that had alumni. I would work, and I did this actually when I graduated college. I sat in the alumni office. It took quite a bit of doing. Like I had to get them to figure out that I wasn't leaving until I got what I wanted. But I got a printed out list of all the alumni in the state of Ohio, I think, because that's where I was living at the time. And then I just dialed and emailed and looked them up and said, "Hey, I just graduated. Go Bobcats!" Because I went to Ohio University in Ohio in the journalism school, and I'm looking for something. Is there anything I can do to help you? And that's how I got my first like real job. Actually, there was an alum who had they sold radio time. They batched radio stations together into packages and sold them to smaller brands that didn't have the dollar power, the buying power to buy like the bigger brands. Remember, Dollar General was a big client, and their office manager was going on maternity leave, and I got that gig just from phoning. So I would do that, and I would. And you can talk to ChatGPT or Gemini about the best way to go about it and what to ask and how to say it. And then the other thing I would do is something I've done myself. So I used to work for Heather Lloyd Martin, which I'm name dropping. I don't know how many people in your audience will know her, but she's arguably uh, the founder of SEO copywriting. She's amazing.
Mhm.
And she was wooed away by well, anyway, I saw her speak while I was client side and just really resonated with me. First, she's amazing, an amazing speaker, an incredible direct marketer, like at her core, which is such a gift. And then, I've always been a wannabe tech. So she was very sparkly. So I emailed her after the conference and I offered myself as an unpaid intern if she would train me. And she took me up on it. And then I did that for 6 months and then she started paying me, which was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would do those two things. The other thing I would suggest is, oh, what's his name? There's a gentleman, I'll come up with the name, who wanted to get into digital marketing, and he reached out to Ramit Sethi and Tim Ferriss.
Hmm.
Stalked them on social media, and then he saw where they were struggling with something or couldn't get to something. I think it was in one case it was video production. So he grabbed some of their stuff and he made them videos. And he said, "Hey, I saw you were struggling with this, so I did this for you, and for free. Anything else I can help you with, or give me any feedback and I'll update it." And he ended up working for both of those gents. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the trick. It's the old networking and asking for referrals. I think that's becomes critical in an age where HR is broken and you can send out 500 job applications in a week easily with AI. Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me. I feel for those folks.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I think
What
like
would you do?
yeah, connections are very important to have great connections. In marketing, I mean, like it's a must-have.
Yeah.
In link building, sales, if you have connections in PR, yeah, it's very important. I remember when I started PR. So basically, we had one project, and all competitors were like multi-billion-dollar companies, and so basically, we needed to write 12 press releases a week, and we paid for one press release to write and distribute $6,000. So
Wow.
12 press releases, like $70,000. We didn't have this money.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I decided to do this job myself. And what I did, I just started to write press releases and distribute them. 3 months. No results, even zero link, zero mentions, nothing, just completely nothing. After 3 months, I got first link, small link from small website. Then after 6 months, the results became average, and after 9 months, we got Forbes, CNN, Business Insider, yeah, MSN, Yahoo, real big websites, big players. But I felt like 3 months without even one result. I wrote a bunch of press releases. I distributed all of them. I just got replies, unsubscribe, please don't disturb me. So, but I think it's the part of the process, to build connections. If you build connections, if you know people, yeah, you can get results.
Yes. Yeah. No, great. And don't quit. That would be the thing to add.
Of
Right?
course, of course.
Don't quit. It's a numbers
But
game. It's like sales.
yeah, I think you can quit if you hate it. I think it's okay because people can make wrong choices. And today, 75% of people hate their jobs. If you hate it, just leave it. Find something else, what you like, where you enjoy your time. Because you can make like the wrong choice, but you can change it and go to different direction. It's normal.
It's a great time to start a company with everything you can do to leverage AI as a teammate.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, and I would add one more thing to it. If I'm thinking about myself, if I were a young marketer, I would find a nonprofit and I would do some work to build a portfolio, do some work for them, like gratis. And I would write them an invoice for the amount of like the value of the work, but then zero it out. So they saw the dollar amount of what it would have been, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then, get referrals and testimonials and introductions and things from that. I think that would be
nice. Leslie, I have my final question. And it's important question in something where I always fail. So basically, I fail with my forecast. I failed with American president. I failed with price Bitcoin. Many terrible predictions. Remember, like 10 years ago, one of my friends came to me and told, "Look at, we have this Bitcoin. Can you buy it, 1,000 Bitcoin? It can become a big thing." I reply, "I don't know. What is it? I'm not interested. Please don't waste my time." That was like 10 years ago. He, by the way, he replied, "Okay, just buy 100 Bitcoins. If you don't want 1,000, buy 100. No. I don't need even one." But I think it's enjoyable when you don't know what can happen. I feel that I'm on the second stage. I can't build ChatGPT, I can't build Google, but I can use this technology. Whatever happens, we just adapt. And our main job to adapt to new technologies. What's going on? If Google can change, okay, we can switch to the place where a customer's attention is. So just go to a new direction. And marketers on TV, radio didn't lose jobs. They adapted to digital. If virtual reality will come, we adapt to virtual reality. And you can do it much faster if you have experience in to create content, to promote content. So without experience, you can't join a new niche, something new, without having this experience. You can, but you need to acquire some experience as well. Leslie, I'm interested about SEO future. Your forecast about SEO, if it's inaccurate, it doesn't matter. We need to adapt to the possible future. What do you think? What kind of future will be in 5-10 years?
Oof, yeah. Well, I don't bet against Google.
Mm-hmm.
They are really smart. They should have been ahead on AI. I mean, they were. They had a few more scruples than OpenAI, right? So it slowed them down a little bit in terms of stealing creators' content. And they already owned YouTube, so they could work. But anyway, I don't bet against Google. I think they'll figure it out. I don't think it's going to become a thing of the past, Google. I don't think. And I'm using ChatGPT or Gemini like a search engine. It's a bit overkill, but I'm going there instead of going to Google. I have a few use cases that Google still fits the bill for. I think how we work will change, and that's going to be driven by what our audience does. So, we're going to be matching the user's full question rather than being keyword based. Trust, being the trusted source, being the expert. Agentic search, we're going to be marketing to robots and not people, right? So authority, that's funny. EEAT is still a great guidepost, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Expertise, experience, trust, authority. How can you write? I think to the last question and to this question, I think the better we'll be better able to adapt to what's coming in the future, the more niche we are and who we serve and what we do. So if you could because trust and authority are so important, as an agency owner, as a consultant, I'm looking at this personally. How do we narrow the type of industries, the verticals we serve? Because you really need to know. You can't just come in and be on the surface and put out surface content that isn't really deep in expertise and really going to earn that trust and clearly be seen as an authority. And then they'll, marketing to robots. And
okay. I hope you can join my podcast in 3-5 years. Welcome back anytime, but I hope
probably be 6 months, Anatol.
I hope next time you will not reply, look at my AI avatar, can join this podcast. And we have the podcast with 2 AI avatars, but anything can happen. If they can replace us fully, it's okay, it's normal. Because even today, like 46% of people follow at least one AI content, and even most of them don't know it's AI created content. So a lot of faceless video on YouTube.
I would love to get my voice cloned and my likeness cloned, but I don't think I've seen one yet where you don't give away your likeness in that context. That's not okay. Can't do that.
I think if it's quality, I mean, like clone. It's okay if you give your voice.
You can't be allowed to go use your voice or your likeness.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
And there probably are some of those, and I haven't seen them yet. But are you going to do it?
I cloned my voice for outreach. I have no idea if it works or not because I just tested a little bit, but I'm going to test a lot more because when I analyze my clone AI voice with mine, I like it more AI voice, to be honest. So, because I mean, like some tools can provide a real good job. They make like some pause, to clear a little bit. I like it. Why not? So
totally.
If it's my permission, why not? I can use AI voice.
Absolutely. As long as they can't go use it for some other purpose also. You don't want to find yourself on a commercial for something in some other country that you don't support.
Yeah.
or
Leslie,
wherever.
thank you
Mhm.
so much for taking part on my podcast to bring all this value. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm on LinkedIn at Leslie Carruthers, Carruthers. And you can find us at thesearchguru.com online and in most of the socials, although we primarily focus on LinkedIn. And almost all of my content has a link to put something in my calendar. So if you want
Mhm.
to share what you're doing in AI or get some tips or hear what your peers are doing, put some time on the calendar and I'll look forward to talking with you.
Awesome, guys. You can
Mm.
find the link in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. I recommend to anyone to follow Leslie on LinkedIn. I follow because I need this value. Our niche is
Me, you.
quickly changing world. We need to adapt to whatever happens. That is why I follow smart people who can let me know, what's going on, what to do next.
Mm,
So I
it's
use
so
other
much.
ideas combined with mine and get results. Okay, guys, love you. See you.
Mm, thank you.